Hi, Dr. Paul Haider, Master Herbalist and Spiritual Teacher here. Well, this is flat leaf kale, one of my favorite things, and I love this stuff. Crunchy, really full of flavor, really good. I love juicing it also, putting it in soups and stews and casseroles. There's just nothing I don't like about kale. It really is tasty and full of nutrition. I mean, full of a plethora of all kinds of healing agents that are really good, anti-inflammatory, lowers blood pressure, lowers cholesterol, on and on and on, all kinds of trace minerals. And I have a video about kale also, so you can go there and watch that. But it's also good for juicing and also great for blending in smoothies. And I know a lot of people do green smoothies now. It's becoming a big thing, green smoothies, because greens are super important for our health. Now, I had a man the other day who had diabetes, and with his diabetes, he has an A1C, which is really high. And he went on my diet, and his A1C didn't drop down, as fast as I thought it should. And I kept asking, what are you eating? Send me some pictures of what you're eating. And he started sending me some pictures, and all of a sudden I see that he's eating a whole bunch of carbs and is really not following my diet. I said, you got to get the greens in there. And we'll see. Now he's finally eating the greens, and well, I bet you anything, his A1C drops like a rock. And and he's also lost a lot of digits on one of his appendages, and I don't want to see anymore. A loss of that's for sure, or a foot or something like that. So let's pray for this man, and we'll get him into eating greens. I mean, a lot of kids, they hate greens, but once you teach kids to eat greens in a great way, and they tend to like it, it's really great stuff. People even make kale chips, put them in the oven with a little salt on them, and they're great. I mean, they're crunchy. It's kind of a replacement for potato chips and, corn chips and all that kind of stuff, and they're really healthy for you. The best way to eat greens, of course, is raw, like this, because when we eat anything which is raw, especially greens, the greens are out in the sunlight and they pick up photons. And this is science now. We used to call this metaphysics, but it's not anymore. And we know that those photons, when they are ingested into our body, are actually released into our body. And we have light energy. We are light beings, and that makes us feel energetic and alive and more like our real selves. There's no doubt about it. So, and a lot of people, when they do juicing, I mean, for the first time, they say, wow, this energy all of a sudden. Well, the power of green, live food, especially getting it in a wallop like that and juicing, and within 15 minutes, you're going to have it in your body, and you're feeling it. There's no doubt about it. And these green powders that you get, not that great. They really are not. Use the real deal. You know what I mean? This is the best way to go. And when you start really using fresh greens, there's no going back. I'm telling you, there's no going back, because if you really know what that live, full feeling of energy in your body is all about. And so it's really important that we stay on that straight and narrow path of eating what, the great Creator gave us. And I think it's really important to keep it simple. Things like carrots are really important. You can even eat carrot greens. That's really one of those things that a lot of people don't even get into. Turnip greens, collard greens. Oh, collard greens, one of my favorites for cooking with. I really like it. Horseradish greens, horseradish greens are amazing in all kinds of dishes, and they have a little spiciness to them also. All kinds of greens. And I like chives and all the onion tops and all those type of things. They're just wonderful too. And cilantro and all culantro, which we have growing here, and other types of cilantro, and a lot of different types of greens. And oregano, putting oregano, we have the big leaf oregano and the small leaf. We have both here actually. And just going through our garden and just picking up pieces and eating them. I think it's the greatest way to go. And just allowing yourself to eat those live, fresh greens, absolutely important. Also, I wanted to talk about a couple myths that are going on out there. One thing is, a lot of people say, oh, oil pulling is really great for getting rid of periodontal disease. Well, I did an extensive study of all the research that was done, and a lot of studies were done on oil pulling, and it's not real. It's a myth. It's a myth. It's not real at all. Actually, didn't do any better than, placebo effect. So if you did have some kind of reaction, a positive reaction, is probably from the placebo effect. It absolutely doesn't do anything at all. And so that is another thing that we have to think about. Sometimes some of the stuff that's been passed down from ages to ages, it really doesn't work, and we have the science to prove it. And so oil pulling is one of those things that a lot of people think that works for periodontal disease, but it really doesn't do any good whatsoever. And I looked at hundreds of different research processes that went out there, that took place out there, a lot of double-blind studies, and nothing, absolutely nothing. And another one is bone broth. Bone broth there's no scientific research showing it does any good whatsoever. And it's full of fat, absolutely lots of saturated fat, and it's full of heavy metals, because our bones, latch onto those heavy metals, and they really don't. You're getting a whopping dose of heavy metals, boiling those bones and getting that broth out of there. And so it's really not a good thing. And I've done a lot of research on that also, and it's really not a healthy thing to be taking it whatsoever. Even if it's desiccated and dried, you're still getting that whopping dose of heavy metals. Really, really not good. And people are getting enough heavy metals now. I'm telling you, really not good. We need to do a heavy metal cleanse, but to get that much can cause super problems in general. I don't recommend doing bone broth. That's another big myth. In fact, I know somebody who does a lot of bone broth, and they've had multiple surgeries and multiple diseases going on. So I really don't recommend it whatsoever. So allow yourself to, think about these things. Oil pulling is not real. Bone broth is really not good for you. So we allow ourselves to eliminate those from our lives, and you're going to be healthier. Go on my diet. Go to paulhaider.com. That's PAULHAIDER.com. And up in the right-hand corner, you'll see my diet. Click on that, and you'll see my whole diet. Read it 2 or 3 times. There's a lot of information, and we can get you on the straight and narrow. In fact, this last 2 weeks ago, in fact, I had a man I met in the mall, and we've become friends, and we go walking there. And a while back, I saw, boy, he is not walking. What's going on? So I asked, what are you doing? He said, just sitting there. He said, well, I have bad sciatica. It's really terrible. And in fact, I'm waiting to go see the doctor here now here in the mall. I said, well, I'll be praying for you. And from there, he came back. I saw him a couple days later, and he said, what'd the doctor say? He said, he thinks I need surgery, and he gave me a referral. And so I saw him a couple days later after he went to the surgeon, and the surgeon said, we got to do the surgery right away. You need to get this done. But his pain would come and go. Some days he'd be good, and some days he'd be bad. And I said, maybe this is not, something surgical that needs to be done. And surgery is painful as all get out and takes a long time to recover from. I said, why don't you go on my diet and get rid of all the animal products, and let's see if this is just inflammation. I'd do anything before they cut me open. And he agreed. He said, I don't want to go to surgery, that's for sure. So he went halfway on my diet. He actually eliminated most of the animal products, and a couple weeks later, his pain subsided to something that was manageable with, you know, a little bit of white willow bark or aspirin, and he was good. He didn't eliminate all the animal products. He's working on that, but he doesn't have to go to surgery. So that was a big deal, getting rid of that sciatic pain. Big thing. So I think it's really important that we allow ourselves to find what works for us and change that and take in some things. You know, I mean, it may take this man a little while longer for him to make that transition to being a full vegan and getting rid of all that pain. You know, in fact, I also know another lady, and her and her husband, I go walking with the dogs, and she's a vegan, excuse me, she's a vegetarian, or was a vegetarian, and she had terrible sciatic pain also. And I was wondering why I haven't seen this lady and her husband out walking their golden retriever. So one day, finally, after a couple months, I saw them. I said, "Are you guys okay?" And then she said, "Well, I've had terrible sciatic pain." And she's a vegetarian. I said, "Well, you need to lay off all the dairy products and the eggs, and because they're highly inflammatory." And she said, "Wow, really?" And a week later, her sciatic pain completely disappeared. And we were walking the dogs. I was walking mine. They're walking theirs. And she let her husband take the golden retriever, and she came over and gave me a hug. And she said, "Thank you, I didn't know that." And now she's completely fine. Her sciatic pain disappeared. So another one that shows that, you know, eating our greens, eating our vegan food, it gets rid of the inflammation, no doubt about it whatsoever. Also, another great healing agent that really is important is love. Love is probably the most important aspect of any healing whatsoever. And new studies show, they were doing studies of scans of prisoners who were serial killers. And they found that the certain areas of the brain, especially prefrontal cortex, was underdeveloped. And then they looked at these people's lives who were serial killers, and they found out and when they were growing up, they really didn't have any love or caring or hugging or any kind of affection whatsoever. And so they grew up with this area of their brain totally stunted, so they had no emotional connection. They didn't really have any emotions whatsoever. And so as far as remorse or feelings of being sorry or anything, or even any kind of emotion in general, they didn't have that. And so this is one thing about, you know, little kids when they grow up in orphanages, and they're rocking themselves back and forth like this because they want to feel love, but they're not getting love. And they actually find that that prefrontal cortex in that situation is also stunted. And so it makes it very difficult for these children to later be able to take in love and receive love and make a difference in their lives as far as, you know, becoming a fully emotional, connected, loving, caring being. It can happen. There's no doubt about that, but it takes a lot more work. And so love, especially when we're young, is one of the most important healing agents for our brain. And I'll say that again. Love is the most important healing agent for our brain. And I find that very interesting. And when we have concrete evidence of something which is not concrete, something which is love, which is, you know, passed down. This is talked about in all the spiritual texts also, you know what I mean? That love is the most healing power, the most powerful in the world. And now we can actually see scientific evidence of it. And we're starting to see science and, you know, the spiritual teachings come together in a powerful way. And I know for sure when I feel love, it is really a driving force in my life, and that's really the reason I do what I do, because I love people and I love caring about people and love seeing people heal and making a difference in their lives, and it fills me up from the inside out, where nothing else does that, you know. And when you see somebody, you know, get better and they feel great, it makes a huge difference, and it makes you feel like you're making a difference in somebody's lives that they appreciate. And so remember to always love yourself and to love others. This is not only going to help you, but it'll help your family, it'll help your community, it will help the nation, it will help the world. And from there we grow to change the world in great ways. So allow yourself to know that love is the most healing and important aspect of life in general. So if you'd like to get a hold of me, my phone number is 831-869-9119, 831-869-9119. My email address is drpaulhaider@gmail.com. That's drpaulhaider@gmail.com. And my Skype address is drpaulhaider. You can go to my Facebook page under Dr. Paul Haider, and up in the corner you can message me there on my Facebook page, and I'll get right back to you. You can text me, you can WhatsApp me with that phone number, and I'm always available. My consultations are no charge, but if you care to make a donation, you can go to my website at paulhaider.com. That's www.paulhaider, paulhaider.com. If I've made a difference in your life in some way, we really appreciate that you make a donation. And I'm doing a lot of research, and that helps me to further my research so I can help you in a great way. So allow yourself to feel free to get a hold of me, and I'll help you in any way, shape, or form, whether it be spiritual, whether it be herbal, and or whether it be about my diet or anything else, and I'll make a difference in your life if I can in any way, shape, or form. And also watch those little ads, the AdSense ads, because they bring a couple cents towards my family and I. And have a great day, and remember, the most important thing of all, above everything else, is I love you.